Verse 7. Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them, but he treated them like strangers and spoke roughly to them. Where do you come from? He said. They said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. Okay, so Joseph recognized them. Why didn't they recognize Joseph? Well, if you sold your brother into slavery, you kind of going to try and forget it. Kind of like the cupbearer forgot about Joseph. You put it out of your mind, and you don't expect him to be standing in front of you, right? If someone you know, which you don't expect to be in a certain place, stand in front of you, you're like going to see the person, but your brain tells you this person is not supposed to be there. So although your eyes are seeing that person, you're not really seeing the person. Okay, it does happen. Like the obvious kind of you miss, which since you're not expecting it. The other reason, understandably, is most likely is the way he was dressed. If the other day in the mall, there was this guy. He had a cap over his head, like going over his eyes, and he had a mask on. Okay, so basically you couldn't even see his eyes. You couldn't see nothing of him. Just that it's a guy. Okay, that's about that you could see. Now, was he some other famous singer or artist or whatever? I have absolutely no idea, right? Because you could not see through this guys, basically. Okay, so if he was my brother disguised like that, I would not have recognized him. It's like, in the COVID days, I always used to going to the bank with my cap over my head because of the sun and the mask on, and thinking, walking into a bank. No, I can rob the bank there. They would not even be able to recognize me later because I was disguised in such a way. Okay? So at least going into the bank, I always made a point of taking off my cap, at least so that people don't think I'm... But then again, going into the bank, scanning, walking in the sun, and beep, 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 and all of them look at you as if you're a terrorist and a COVID-laden person going to kill them all with COVID. Okay, and those days, never want them over again. Okay, and so, yes, in other words, this guy was disguised in such a way so that no one will recognize him. I don't care about actors or whatever, right? So I didn't care about going up to him and bumping into him and trying to get the cap. Whatever. Brad Pitt can walk past me, I wouldn't blink an eye because of whatever. I was just a human being. I don't think he would want people to always make... I always think like there's these actors, I kind of pity them because they're so... Everybody always like want to get something from them, and if I was an actor, I would have wanted people to not pay any attention to me. I'm just a normal human being kind of idea. But again, this is above the point. What I'm trying to get at is it is possible to disguise you in such a way that, and even if Joseph was not out to disguise, Joseph would not have had a mask on most likely. Okay, they were not covered. Okay, but the way, remember, he was his hair cut off. The Egyptians looked different. They were clean shaven. Okay, the brothers would have had beards. They were clean shaven, right? The hair cut in a different way. A headdress on, other clothes on. Not expecting him, thinking he's dead. So even if they see, even if all the rest were there, they would most likely still not have seen him. Okay, like after Jesus' resurrection, the two guys from Emmaus. They did not recognize Jesus. Did Jesus have a new face, a new body, anything? Right? A total different face, a total different body? No, he didn't. Why didn't they recognize him? Because they didn't expect him. He's dead. Right? If he's dead, he's dead. He's not standing. He can't be standing in front of you. Even though you see him, your brain tells you it's impossible, so you don't see him. Okay? It's like how smell works. You take a frangipani flower, you smell it, it smells so good. But after like 30 seconds, the smell disappears. Did the smell disappear? You can give that same flower to someone else, they will smell it. You can't smell it anymore. Why? Because you have that information now. Your brain says, okay, I don't need to waste time on this anymore. I smelled it. I know how it smells. So let's go on to the next thing. Okay, so your brain plays a very important role, understandably. So he's dead. He can't be standing here. The Emmaus guys, we can't recognize Jesus. Okay, then other people draw a conclusion that Jesus now totally looks different because they didn't recognize him. No! It's just because, according to them, he's dead, he can't be there. Right? So according to these brothers, Joseph is dead. They're not going to recognize him, even if he looked exactly the same. But he looked differently. So yes, they did not. They looked pretty much the same. Okay, why? I mean, it's 20 years later. People kind of change a lot in their teens, but after you hit you would have been around, they would have been in the mid-20s, closer to 30 when they did this, maybe even a few after 30. From 30 to 50 odd, you don't really change a lot. Okay, maybe you grow a tummy, your beard becomes a little bit longer, your hair a bit longer. I mean, you can always cut that kind of idea, but your looks don't really change a lot. And the culture didn't change. They were still just them. Okay, so they kind of basically looked the same. So it was sure a lot easier for Joseph. And Joseph knew their lives. It's not for Joseph, his brain's telling, oh, they're dead, they can't be alive, so it can't be them. Okay? So it is possible. And it happened, again, as the text states. So if people have heard people say, but this could not have happened, this could, how we recognize, how they didn't recognize. I mean, it's all simple, explainable. If you just understand a little bit of psychology, a little bit of physiology, and just use your brain a little bit, then you can understand. But seeing sometimes some people just, I don't know, they count themselves as so super intelligent, but they don't know these simple things. Well, you know, again, that's sin. You don't want to see the truth. You don't want to see the truth. Like these brothers here, you're not going to see the truth. Doesn't matter if someone hits you with a hammer over their head, you're not going to see the stars. Right? The blood might flow and you just say, no, it's just ketchup. Yeah, that's why I say the fool said in his heart there's no God, right? So why did he speak roughly to them? Disguising his voice? Man, even if he had the same voice, that's not going to, so that's not the reason he spoke harshly with him. Joseph is going to try and interrogate him because he wants to find out information. He sees 10 of them. 2 left. What did they do to Benjamin? Did they kill Benjamin in the meantime? I mean, they might have. If they treated him this way, maybe then they would have felt so, you know, we got rid of Joseph and there's just one other one that's the son of Rachel, and he is still now the beloved son, because I think Joseph could put 2 and 2 together. If he is the beloved son because of Rachel, ultimately, although it's said in that chapter it's because of old age, but then Benjamin was even born after him, so he's even of an older age. So okay, both of those things hold true. So it's not the exclusion of, right? Both holds true. And so he could have, right, if they got rid of him, and now he's the only one reminding, Benjamin reminds him of Joseph, reminds him of what they did, and he's now loved by his father. Then they could have done, the only way for us to not be reminded of Joseph, the only way for maybe one of us to become the beloved son is to get rid of Benjamin. Okay, so you can imagine logically that maybe Joseph thought that Benjamin is dead as well. Okay, and if he was going to come and start off with kind of a wokish voice, like, he's kind of still alive, and so, well, what's it like? Who are you? Kind of, and they might have taken him as a as a fool kind of, or they would not have been afraid, and they would have spoken and might have lied to him. But now by speaking this way, he forces it as a bad cop, good cop kind of idea. Kind of sometimes I think people call it Vice President Vance and President Trump kind of idea, right? Good cop, bad cop kind of idea, right? From the Hollywood movies. Again, I'm not an American. Okay, so Joseph here speaks with his voice because he wants them to be afraid, so that they might then ultimately then speak the truth. Okay, so you can slap them first so that to get the truth out of them. This is the reason why he is speaking like this roughly, like why he's treating them as strangers. Okay, you could not just immediately get out there and tell him, and then they would have lied and they would not come back, or something, right? And anyhow, he wanted to know, do they really feel bad? What is going on? He needed this information. So for this reason, and logically, again, understandably, he did the right thing, and he spoke roughly with them. And their answer was, yes, we are from the land of Canaan, and we're just here to buy food. Now, yeah, I can say, we're from the land of Canaan, we're here to buy food. Right? So they're afraid. They don't know what to expect. They need to go back with food. If they don't go back with food, their families die. Right? They can't. And they understand that this guy has the power of. Right? It's like someone at the visa office, when you're applying for an extension of your visa, you know kind of that person has the right to give that stamp or not give that stamp, and kind of your next year staying in the country depends on that stamp or not. Okay? So in this case, they understand that not only their being in the country, but their lives depend on this. Will they allow food in? Or are they going to keep blaming others for not sending in food?